Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Real Report. If you're confused by the image on your screen right now, it'll make sense in just a second. This video is going to be a litmus test to see if I've been shadow banned or if I'm officially back from the beyond. I don't really know. I got flagged for misinformation, and I was able to dispute one of the claims that YouTube made, but ever since then my views have dropped from about 3,200 was my best on Russia-Ukraine, averaging anywhere from 2 to 500-ish for the last few. So the last couple videos were under 100 views, all three of them, which is very bizarre. I know YouTube is censoring people with quote, and I quote, independent views on the war in Ukraine. So this video is going to be strictly about the energy crisis in Europe and also affecting Japan. So we're going to see, if you guys watch this, please, if you haven't liked any of my other videos, like and comment on this one, because I'm genuinely curious what's going on with people getting exposed to the video and all that good stuff. So please comment down below, hit the like button so that I know you're still out there, you can still see the video, it's still notifying you. And if it's simply YouTube blocking war coverage, not other content, because that is obviously going to have a dramatic impact on the type of content that I can make. Anyway, to get into the point, the energy crisis in Europe is so bad that some people are thinking of using horse poop to heat their homes this winter. And I just thought that the same day I wanted to make this video and I saw this picture on the Economic Collapse blog, was funny to be the same day that I had to dispute a misinformation claim. So Europe is facing an extremely cold winter that will be filled with the energy shortages, blackouts, and absurdly high power bills. All across the continent, ordinary people can see what is coming, and many of them are starting to panic. Demand for wood stoves is off the charts, and many Europeans are hoarding wood and other materials to burn in their existing wood stoves during the bitterly cold months ahead. We are truly in unprecedented territory, and things are about to get really crazy out there. I have to agree with Michael here. He says, if you live in Europe and you haven't purchased a wood stove yet, it is probably already too late to get one for the beginning of winter. It is being reported that any stoves ordered now could take, quote, months to deliver, and prices for wood pellets have almost doubled. Here's some interesting facts, and then we're going to hop right into another gas leak detected. Somebody really has a hard-on for Germany. As much as 70% of European heating comes from natural gas and electricity, and with Russian deliveries drastically reduced, wood, already used by some 40 million people for heating, has become a sought-after commodity. Prices for wood pellets have nearly doubled to 600 euros a ton in France, and there are signs of panic buying of the world's most basic fuel. Hungary even went so far as to ban exports of pellets, and Romania capped firewood prices for 6 months. Meanwhile, wood stoves can now take months to deliver. Ignore my GeForce drivers ready to install. Right here, of course, like I said, Germany, leak detected in pipeline that brings crude oil to Germany. Leak was detected in an oil pipeline in Poland, which is the main route through which Russian crude oil reaches Germany. Polish operator Pern said. The firm said it detected a leak in a Druzhba pipeline, which originates in Russia, on Tuesday evening, about 45 miles from the central Polish city of Plock. It is said the cause of the leak is not known, and we're going to cover this more in just a couple minutes. Now, hopping into France, as we covered this one a couple weeks ago about the Eiffel Tower going dark. French gas rationing begins as refinery strikes worsen after government calls back essential workers. They're having a lot of issues over here. France said on Tuesday that it would requisition essential workers to staff Exxon's French oil depot. Workers decided on Tuesday to strike beginning on Wednesday, which is today, and the country's energy minister, Agnes Pannier-Runacher, said that the government's doing its utmost to restore the situation normal as soon as possible, so you have nothing to worry about. The CGT union called the plans violent and suspended all ongoing negotiations with government and employers on a national level and across business sectors, and announced additional strikes at Total's refinery. Now here's where things get absolutely wild. These numbers affected for the barrel per day output are astronomical. This is going to have some consequences. 246,000 barrels per day, 109,000 barrels per day, 219,000 barrels per day, 270,000 barrels per day at Port Jerome. Exxon's 235,000 barrel per day. Fos-sur-Mer refinery also affected by the strikes. That is obviously, what is that? 500,000 plus, over 500,000 barrels per day that are not being outputted. The strikes and unplanned maintenance of the refineries run by oil majors have forced more than 60% of France's refining capacity offline. 60% offline overnight. Bang, done. You're not getting it. 31% of service stations throughout the country were grappling with supply problems on Tuesday. Take a look. Here you can see them pushing the ambulance or a police car. In case you guys are not familiar, please don't put gasoline in plastic trash bags. It's not going to end well for you. So as you can see there, one day without fuel deliveries and people are already experiencing the repercussions. Now hopping into the next article, back to the Druzhba pipeline leak, reducing the Russian oil flows to Germany, of course, France's neighbor. Leak discovered by Poland late Tuesday. The leak likely to be accidental, not sabotage, says Poland, and Germany says that reduced crude supplies are still adequate. We'll see about that. They probably just don't want to panic the public and have you run out to gas up all at once. Germany said on Wednesday it was receiving less oil but still had adequate supplies after Poland found a leak in the Druzhba pipeline that delivers crude from Russia to Europe that Warsaw said was probably caused by an accident rather than sabotage. Again, if you guys haven't, please hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe, and share. Really helps me out. Now, 90% of that is supplying Berlin's fuel. Said deliveries were taking place, but at reduced capacity. Repairs would likely not take long, or at least they're hoping they won't take long. The Druzhba oil pipeline, whose name means friendship in Russian, there's a new word for you for the day, is one of the world's largest, supplying Russian oil to much of Central Europe, including Germany, Poland, Belarus, Hungary, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and Austria. So definitely some big consequences of that going offline. Let's see how long it takes to be repaired. And an interesting one about the West becoming a potential major supplier of, those Euro countries. Israel hails historic sea border deal with Lebanon. Guess what? Big takeaway here. Israel said on Tuesday that it reached a U.S. brokered agreement with Lebanon to settle their long-disputed maritime border, hailing a historic achievement. Here's the kicker: that potentially unlocks significant offshore gas production for both countries. Yes, more input from the West, more sales to Europe. And here domestically, speaking of the U.S., food costs jump sparks hotter than expected U.S. producer price inflation. That's right. Inflation is back on the upswing. Headline PPI printed 8.5% year over year, which was hotter than the expected 8.4%. Not overly significant because it's still down from August 8.7%. However, ex-food, energy, and trade, the PPI rose 0.4% month over month, which was double the expected 0.2%. So keep an eye on that as PepsiCo's average product prices spike 17% year over year. And I can tell you guys my grocery bill has gone up at least 100%. Yes, not joking, 100%. Average prices rising an astonishing 17% from the year prior, and that's from Pepsi. And it's not just Europe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Japan, they're also having a lot of problems right now. Japan gives up to $900 million in loans to power producer to buy LNG. Of course, that's liquid natural gas. And we're going to dive into that and then wrap this video up. Australia assures Japan it can count on energy supply. Here out of Tokyo, Trade Minister reassured Japan that Australia is a committed energy trading partner after Tokyo raised concerns that a global commodity shortage could lead to vital gas supplies being diverted for domestic use, aka no gas for you. Crippling shortages. Hopping down into the article here from the Financial Review. Japan's long-term ongoing investment in Australian company Government's sudden decision to dramatically increase coal royalties, saying it had rattled Japanese businesses' confidence, especially as they weigh investing in Australia's emerging hydrogen industry. Japan and South Korea, two of Australia's key trading partners, have sought assurances from the Albanese government that it will not divert crucial gas exports needed to power their economies for domestic use, amid growing concern in the region about crippling power shortages. So now it's all of Europe, potentially the United States, of course South America most likely, and now Japan as well can be thrown into the energy crisis. So I think we can safely say global energy crisis now, minus, of course, Russia. Australia provides around 2/3 of Japan's coal and 1/3 of Japan's LNG imports. I found that to be a really interesting stat. Japan is seeking to slash its reliance on fossil fuels to achieve the government's net zero emissions target by 2050. Is that Japan or California? What's the difference? Anyways, Japan faces new LNG supply challenge as Malaysia curbs shipments. That's right, they're getting hit with a double whammy. Malaysia will curb liquefied natural gas shipments to Japan this winter after a pipeline leak, and not the Druzhba pipeline leak, Poland to Germany. This one's different. The Malaysia leak, I'll read that in just a second. Anyway, after a pipeline leak disrupted exports, another hit to already strained global supplies of the power station fuel. Now, this part's going to be a little difficult to read because Bloomberg is really stingy and they want you to pay for the articles, so I'm going to have to squint here. Petroleum has made a request, or National BHD has made a request to reduce contracted deliveries to several Japanese customers through the year end. According to traders with knowledge of the matter, Petronas said Wednesday that it declared force majeure on supply to its LNG export facility due to a leak on Sabah Sarawak gas pipeline on September 21st. So this article, though, is of course out of October 5th, but just another one that I hadn't caught until last night, that they're also having issues with the Malaysian shipments. So again, keep an eye on all of that as we head for, well, these two pictures. So again, if you guys can help me out, let me know if you guys are seeing the videos okay. Like I said, I had to take one down about misinformation for some reporting I did out of China. I was able to successfully dispute it because I clearly said allegedly as a disclaimer. So of course, do your own due diligence, do your own research, and that is all. Have a good night.